Blessed are you, Lord our God. Greetings, children.
I'm Abby.
My name is Jesus. Sheep and the Winged Wonder.
Now that is a nickname. Jesus gets me.
From the creators of The Chosen.
Hello, Eva. Abba, I have some questions. Did you catch any fish? Why do we eat chicken and not rooster? Why do boys smell?
You ask many questions.
And you answer all of them.
I came to teach.
This is going to be good.
God hears us. He answers us.
They say some stories begin in the heart before they ever appear on a screen. The Chosen Adventures Episode 1 of the first season isn't just another animated series. It's a miracle in motion, born from faith, imagination, and a deep longing to help the next generation see Jesus not as a distant figure, but as a friend, a teacher, and a presence that transforms everything he touches. When creators of The Chosen first noticed how children were captivated by that one quiet episode where Jesus spent time simply talking, laughing, and teaching the little ones, they realized something powerful. This was the beginning of something new, a spark that could light up millions of young hearts. And now, that spark has become a fire. But what makes this story so special isn't just its animation, or the colors, or the music that dances through every frame. It's the message. Pure, gentle, yet deeply moving. It's the way faith walks hand in hand with imagination, and how the simplest encounters with Jesus can awaken something eternal inside even the youngest souls. This isn't just for kids. It's for every grown-up who still remembers what wonder feels like. As the episode begins, we're invited into the dusty streets of Capernaum, where two curious 9-year-olds, Abby and Joshua, are caught between the world of play and the world of faith. They dream, they laugh, they question, just like every child who's ever wondered if the stories about miracles could possibly be real. Their world feels small until one day, everything changes. While exploring their little corner of Capernaum, chasing a wooden toy and arguing about who can climb higher, they stumble upon a stranger. He's gentle, calm, and watching them with eyes that feel both ancient and kind. "What's your name?" Abby asks, almost without thinking. He smiles and replies simply, "My name is Jesus." From that single moment, The Chosen Adventures takes us on a journey that's both beautifully familiar and utterly new. The same Jesus from the Chosen live-action series, now seen through the eyes of children, not as the miracle worker on the hillside, but as the friend who kneels in the sand, listens to their questions, and fills their hearts with hope. The atmosphere of this first episode is filled with quiet magic, not the kind made of spells and fantasy, but the magic of truth, love, and divine purpose. Every line of dialogue, every movement of light and shadow feels intentional, almost sacred. You can sense it. This is not just storytelling. It's an invitation to see through the eyes of a child again. And yet, beneath all this beauty, there's something mysterious. Something that makes you wonder what lies ahead. Because this encounter isn't just random. Jesus meeting Abby and Joshua feels destined, almost as if their paths were written before time itself. Who are these children meant to become? What lessons will they carry from this encounter? The episode hints, softly, that their meeting will shape not just their lives, but the future of everyone around them. What truly sets this project apart is how it blends faith with wonder. The creators didn't just want to entertain. They wanted to remind us that the gospel still lives, still breathes, and still speaks in ways we may have forgotten to listen. When Jesus bends down to draw in the dust, when he answers the children's innocent questions with stories that echo eternity, we're reminded that childlike faith is not a weakness. It's the doorway to heaven itself. The music rises like a heartbeat beneath the scene, calm, hopeful, filled with light. Every moment in this episode carries the quiet pulse of a promise that faith, once planted in a young heart, can grow into something unshakable. But here's where the emotion truly deepens, because even in its gentle tone, The Chosen Adventures knows how to stir the soul. You can't watch without feeling something. That tug in your heart when Jesus looks into the eyes of a child and says, "Do not be afraid. I am with you." It's not just a line. It's a message. For every child watching, and for every adult who forgot how to believe like one. And as episode 1 unfolds, we begin to realize this isn't just a story about two children meeting Jesus. It's about rediscovering faith itself. It's about seeing the world again with the eyes of innocence, where love is simple, trust is natural, and God feels close enough to touch. The Chosen Adventures reminds us that faith isn't always about grand miracles or loud voices. Sometimes it's found in the laughter of children, the warmth of a smile, or the moment you realize that the creator of the universe loves you personally. But this is only the beginning, because behind this peaceful first meeting, something deeper is stirring in Capernaum, a story waiting to unfold, a mystery that connects heaven and earth through the hearts of two children. And as the final moments of this first chapter play out, one question echoes softly through the wind. Why did Jesus choose these two? As the story moves forward, the Chosen Adventures begins to open its heart even wider. Abby and Joshua's quiet encounter with Jesus becomes more than a passing moment. It becomes a turning point, a spark of curiosity that won't let them rest. The next day, as the sun spills across the rooftops of Capernaum, Abby can't stop thinking about the man they met. His voice wasn't just kind, it carried something deeper, something that made the world around her feel different, almost alive. The birds sang louder, the air seemed brighter, and her heart beat with a peace she had never felt before. Joshua, on the other hand, is restless. Who was he really? He wonders aloud. How did he know our names? They argue softly, like children do, caught between wonder and disbelief. But deep inside, both know something sacred has begun. And this is where Episode 1 reveals its true power, by showing us faith as it's first discovered, unfiltered and raw. We see these children wrestle with questions that echo through generations. What if he's more than a teacher? What if he's the one the story spoke of? The show never forces an answer. Instead, it invites us to feel what they feel. That trembling excitement of standing before something divine, yet beautifully human. Every glance, every line of dialogue is filled with subtle layers of meaning, reminding us that faith doesn't always come as thunder. Sometimes it whispers. As Abby and Joshua sneak back to the same place where they first met him, they find it empty. The footprints in the sand are fading, carried away by the wind. Maybe it was just a dream, Joshua mutters, but Abby shakes her head. Dreams don't make your heart feel this full. That one line captures everything the Chosen Adventures wants to say. That encounters with Jesus are never imaginary. They leave a mark, one that time itself cannot erase. The animation style mirrors that idea. Soft edges, warm light, and a world that feels both real and slightly touched by heaven. The colors glow like stained glass, and the faces of the children are drawn with the kind of innocence that makes you remember your own. Every frame feels like a prayer painted in motion. And as you watch, you realize this isn't just entertainment, it's worship through art. But beneath the beauty lies a growing mystery. The townspeople of Capernaum have begun whispering. Some say there's a teacher from Nazareth who performs miracles. Others laugh and call it nonsense. Abby's father dismisses it completely. Stories to make children behave, he says sternly. Yet that night, when Abby looks out her window, she swears she sees the same man walking by the shoreline, his figure glowing in the moonlight. He stops, looks toward her house, and then vanishes into the mist. She gasps softly. Joshua was right, she whispers. He's real. The next morning, she runs to tell him, her excitement bubbling over like sunlight. But when they reach the place by the sea, something's waiting. Not Jesus, but a small wooden carving shaped like a dove, resting on a rock. Neither of them remembers leaving it there. Maybe it's a sign, Abby says. Joshua picks it up, and for a moment he hears a whisper. Not from around him, but from within his heart. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. It's in that moment that both children understand this isn't coincidence. Jesus is calling them to follow, not with their feet, but with their hearts. And from this quiet revelation, the first adventure begins. What follows is a breathtaking sequence of discovery. As they move through the bustling market of Capernaum, they begin to see the world differently. The same people they'd walked past 100 times now seem connected. The poor man by the well, the woman carrying water jars, the fisherman arguing about his catch. Abby notices how Jesus' words echo in the lives of others, even those who haven't met him yet. Maybe, she says softly, he's everywhere. This is where The Chosen Adventures shows its emotional depth. It doesn't rush, it lets faith grow naturally, just like it does in real life, through small moments, through questions, through the beauty of discovery. And for the audience, especially for children, it creates something extraordinary, a space to wonder. Because wonder is the language of faith. But just when the tone feels serene, a sense of unease begins to rise. A Roman officer arrives in town asking questions. Rumors have spread about a man gathering followers, teaching strange things about love, mercy, and forgiveness. The adults grow fearful, the market grows quiet. And in the middle of it all, 2 children hold a secret too beautiful to share, that they have met him. As the episode edges toward its midpoint, you can feel the tension between innocence and danger, between truth and disbelief. Abby and Joshua begin to understand that knowing Jesus might not always be easy. Faith, after all, isn't safe. It's bold. It's the courage to believe even when others laugh or doubt. Still, even as the shadows of uncertainty start to form, the light never fades. Because woven through every scene is a single, unbreakable truth. Jesus never leaves. He walks beside them, unseen but near, whispering through their courage, guiding their steps. And as the final moments of Section 2 unfold, Abby clutches the little wooden dove close to her heart and whispers, "If you can hear me, show us what to do." The wind stirs, the waves crash softly, and in that stillness we sense something sacred awakening, the beginning of a journey that will change everything they believe about faith, friendship, and the power of a single encounter with Jesus. The next morning dawns quiet, almost too quiet for Capernaum. The sea lies still, the air feels heavy, and somewhere beyond the shoreline, a storm is waiting to break. Abby and Joshua walk through the narrow streets, their hands brushing the walls of homes built from stone and faith. People whisper as they pass, about the teacher, about the miracles, about hope and fear woven together. But Abby and Joshua walk with a purpose only they understand. They're looking for him, the man whose smile lit up their world, the one who called them to see differently. The little wooden dove is still in Abby's hand. Somehow, even though it's small and fragile, it feels alive, warm, as if it holds a secret inside. Joshua keeps glancing at it, curiosity mixed with awe. "Do you think he left it for us?" he asks. Abby nods, her voice soft. "I think he wants us to follow." Those words hang in the air, trembling with meaning, and that's when they hear it. A voice in the distance, calm but clear, speaking to a small crowd near the edge of the marketplace. "Do to others as you would have them do to you." The children stop. It's him. Jesus is standing there, surrounded by men and women who listen with their whole hearts. His words flow like water, gentle yet unstoppable. Abby feels her throat tighten. "He's real," she whispers again. Joshua's eyes fill with tears. This moment in The Chosen Adventures captures something that the live-action series hinted at, but never fully showed. What it feels like to see Jesus for the first time through the eyes of a child. There's no fear, no distance, only awe. The animation magnifies every emotion, the glow of the morning light around him, the way his eyes seem to carry the colors of the sea and the sky together. It's beauty without exaggeration, truth wrapped in warmth. But the peace doesn't last long. A Roman guard approaches the crowd, his armor glinting, his expression cold. "Disperse!" he shouts. The crowd stirs in fear, stepping back. Abby grips Joshua's hand. "They're afraid of him," she whispers. But Jesus doesn't move. He looks at the soldier, not with anger, but with compassion. "Even you," he says softly, "are loved by my Father." The words hang in the air like fire and mercy intertwined. The soldier freezes, his hand trembling. For a moment, the power of those words breaks through the hardness of his heart. Then he turns away, speechless. That single scene becomes the emotional center of the episode. The moment faith collides with fear, and love proves stronger than power. For children watching, it's simple. For adults, it's profound. It reminds us that kindness can disarm the cruelest hearts, and that even in confrontation, Jesus teaches peace. After the crowd disperses, Jesus looks directly at Abby and Joshua. It's as if he had known they were there all along, He walks toward them slowly, kneeling to their level. "You've come back," he says with a smile. Joshua nods nervously. "We didn't want you to leave." Jesus chuckles gently. "I never left. You only needed to look for me." In that one exchange, everything changes. The children realize that faith isn't about chasing signs, it's about recognizing presence. The miracle isn't that Jesus appears, it's that he's always been there, waiting to be seen. And for a moment, the world around them glows brighter. The sea glimmers, the sky opens wide, and everything feels connected. But then, Jesus grows quiet. He looks past them, toward the horizon, and his expression shifts. Not fear, but something deeper. A shadow of sorrow. Abby notices it and asks softly, "Are you sad?" Jesus turns back to her, placing a hand on her shoulder. "Even light must walk through the dark sometimes," he says. "But do not be afraid. You are part of something beautiful." Those words linger, haunting, comforting, and mysterious all at once. They hint at something greater coming, trials, miracles, lessons. But for now, all the children can do is trust. Share your thoughts in the comments and subscribe our channel for more The Chosen Adventure updates. Thanks!